But at the same time, this is a health drink. The evidence is really clear that if you can have, you can reduce heart attacks by 25%. That's pretty cool if you can do that. And there's not many other ways. Something so simple, you can actually achieve that.
Modern coffee in particular has focused on reducing bitterness and improving kind of flavor as a kind of outcome. And I think we see lighter roasted coffees that have less bitterness to them. The way that we prepare coffee, I think really well-made coffee is not that bitter compared to badly made coffee. I think the thing that's notable about humans is that we're pretty blank slates and our preferences are learned. And while we have different perceptions of things like bitterness, when it comes to flavor, if you want to learn to like something, well, you can just choose to learn to like it. Like you can acquire a taste if you want to. We do it all the time. No one enjoyed their first lager. No one enjoyed their first lights off. No one enjoyed their first coffee.
Coffee could be the ultimate. It doesn't grow as well. It prefers tea to coffee, so you don't get as much, and they're harder to grow, so they're harder to find, and you have to then put it back into tea after it's done a bit of its coffee stint. You can't keep it going in coffee.
Right.
And then there's another way of doing it, which is what I do, is make it in tea the normal way, and then for a second fermentation, you pour it off and you add a little bit of coffee flavoring with a little bit of extra sugar, and that gives you all the coffee aromas, and you've got a coffee beverage there that's got the combination of both the tea and the coffee, and is really, really different, but I find it delicious.
And James, have you had this before?
I haven't had this. I've had various coffee kombuchas over the years.
And so are you appalled by this idea or excited? And can we pour a bit and maybe
I can't
it?
actually measure it yet because I need something that's not fizzy because the gas messes with the pipette measurement. So I'll come back to it in a little bit. The challenge typically with coffee and kombucha is that a good cup of coffee has quite a complex acid profile. A bunch of different acids in there contributing to that. And sort of synergies between different acids can get quite complex. And so once you throw in acetic acid, that vinegar, you can really produce a very strange outcome. It's mixing different vinegars doesn't always work out. And so I've mostly tasted pure coffee kombuchas where they sweetened brewed coffee, and the SCOBY's gone to work just on that.
And that, interestingly, there's this great new paper, which we will share as soon as it's peer-reviewed and published, which shows that this is then feeding one particular bug that we've now discovered, which I think Lawsonobacter, did I just about manage to pronounce that, Tim?
Yep.
Which we can see basically is like a test for whether or not you drink coffee. So I will get my microbiome retested tomorrow and we'll see whether it's, I think it takes a bit longer than that probably, right, Tim? Which then creates these chemicals as a result of eating this coffee, which we understand. I think you mentioned this thing, quinic acid, is just one example of something that we know then has this positive impact in our body because it sort of passes through into our blood. So that's very exciting.